than just metal. It is a reflection of American history, innovation, and the spirit of change. It all began in 1938 when the United States Mint decided to replace the Buffalo nickel with a new design that would honor the third president of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, the man who drafted the Declaration of Independence and whose legacy is etched deeply into the fabric of American democracy. Felix Schlag, a German-American sculptor, won the design competition, and his rendering of Jefferson's portrait and Monticello, his Virginia home, became iconic symbols that would adorn the 5-cent coin for decades to come. Over the years, the Jefferson nickel has witnessed countless changes in minting technology, metal composition, and design refinements during World War II. A significant change occurred when nickel became a strategic metal needed for the war effort. From 1942 to 1945, the mint produced what collectors call wartime nickels. These coins contain 35% silver to replace the nickel that was needed for military manufacturing. These wartime nickels are easily identifiable by the large mint mark above Monticello on the reverse, a unique feature that makes them highly sought after by collectors. The transition back to the standard nickel-copper alloy in 1946 marked the end of an era, but the Jefferson nickel continued to evolve in 2004 and 2005. The United States Mint launched the Westward Journey Nickel Series to commemorate the bicentennials of the Louisiana Purchase and the Lewis and Clark Expedition. These nickels featured temporary new designs, such as the Peace Medal, the Keelboat, the American Bison, and the Ocean. In view, these special editions reignited public interest in the nickel series, leading to new generations of collectors starting their own hoards. When 2006 arrived, the portrait of Jefferson underwent a significant redesign. The obverse featured a forward-facing image of Jefferson based on a Rembrandt Peale portrait, giving the coin a fresh contemporary look. The reverse returned to the classic Monticello design, tying the modern coin to its historic roots. As collectors know, condition, rarity, mint mark, and errors all play crucial roles in the value of any coin, and the Jefferson nickel is no exception. Over the decades, certain dates have become legends among numismatists. The 1950 D Jefferson Nickel is one of the key dates, with a low mintage of just 2.6 million coins, making it a prize for any serious collection. Varieties and errors, like the doubled die obverse on the 1943 P or the misplaced mint marks from earlier years, add layers of mystery and value to the series. The 2021 Jefferson Nickel stands out in recent years for multiple reasons. While it may seem like just another modern coin, its low production numbers due to the pandemic era, minting challenges have made certain mint marks and high-grade examples highly desirable. The Denver Mint struck millions of these nickels, but finding one in pristine mint state 67 or higher can be a true challenge. Collectors pay close attention to the full steps designation, a grading standard that measures the sharpness of the steps on Monticello on the reverse side. A coin with full steps indicates a perfect strike and can command premiums many times the face value. Imagine holding a simple 5-cent piece that could sell for hundreds or even thousands, depending on its condition. Errors on the 2021 nickels also intrigue collectors. Reports of die clashes, off-center strikes, and weak strikes make searching rolls of nickels an exciting treasure hunt. The hunt for these coins takes collectors to banks, coin shows, and online auctions, where bidding wars can erupt over the finest examples beyond the physical coin. The Jefferson nickel connects people to American history. Think of how many hands a nickel passes through. The small piece of metal becomes a time capsule, carrying the legacy of a president, an artist, and the moments in history that demanded changes to its very composition. To tell this story fully, you must dive into the processes of the United States Mint, the design competitions, the striking presses, the quality control measures that ensure billions of coins are made. Yet only a few emerge with those coveted perfect grades. Meet the community of nickel hunters who gather at conventions, who pore over bags of change, who search for the elusive wartime silver nickels in Pocket change still today? Learn about the grading companies who examine these coins under microscopes, the auctions where record prices make headlines, and the stories of people who stumbled upon nickels worth fortunes in their pocket. Change the story of the Jefferson nickel is not just about metal, but about people, about the collectors who dedicate lifetimes to studying these tiny discs, about the historians who connect each minting change to a chapter in American history, about the future generations who will inherit these collections and continue the search for the rarest specimens, whether you hold a simple nickel or a rare mint-state gem. Remember that. In the world of numismatics, every coin has a story. Every scratch tells a tale, and every collector keeps the legacy alive. And so as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Jefferson nickels, especially the emerging significance of the 2021 coins, remember to check your pocket change. Who knows what hidden treasures you might discover next? Just about metal, this is about the legacy of Jefferson, his vision, and how a simple 5-cent piece could turn an ordinary day into an extraordinary treasure hunt. Now we begin the journey of the Jefferson nickel. The year is 2001, a time when America stands on the brink of change. The country is stepping into a new millennium. Yet the face of Thomas Jefferson remains steady on the 5-cent piece, a symbol of continuity, tradition, and pride. But to understand the true value of the 2001 Jefferson nickel, we must travel back to the roots of this iconic coin picture. The year is 1938. The United States Mint wanted to replace the Buffalo nickel, which had graced the pockets of Americans for 25 years. The Treasury announced a design competition, and artists from all over the country submitted their vision for the new nickel. Felix Schlag, a German-born American sculptor, rose to prominence when his depiction of Thomas Jefferson's profile and his beloved home Monticello was selected. The coin was first struck in 1938 and has seen America through war, peace, prosperity, and crisis. Year after year, the Jefferson nickel remained mostly unchanged, but every so often a slight shift, a new mint mark, a rare error would transform an ordinary coin into a numismatic legend. Now fast forward to 2001. The world of coins is changing. Technology has advanced. The mint is modernizing. But the Jefferson nickel continues its run. Collectors keep a watchful eye on every bag, every roll of nickels struck by the Philadelphia and Denver mints that year. The 2001 P. Jefferson nickel, struck in Philadelphia, shows a mintage of over 700 million coins, while the 2001 D from Denver produced even more. Yet within this massive ocean of coins, a few stand out because they carry subtle errors over polished dies, double strikes off-center misalignments, clipped planchets. These rare mishaps can dramatically increase the value of an otherwise common coin picture. A 2001 Jefferson nickel with a double die on Jefferson's eye, or a weak strike that leaves parts of Monticello barely visible. These errors escape the mint's watchful eyes and find their way into circulation, waiting for the sharp gaze of a lucky collector. The obverse shows Jefferson's stoic profile, facing left the word liberty, in his own handwriting, a subtle yet powerful reminder of his legacy. The date 2001 anchors it in time, while the reverse features Monticello, his beloved Virginia estate, with the words A pluribus unum, 5 cents and United States of America, surrounding it, simple yet powerful. In 2001, no major design changes occurred, but the world of coin collecting was buzzing with anticipation for the upcoming Westward Journey series that would begin in 2004. Until then, the 2001 Jefferson nickel served as one of the final years of the classic design era, making these coins the last guardians of an era soon to change for collectors. Condition is everything. A circulated 2001 nickel may only be worth its face value, but find one in mint state MS65 or higher, and you are holding something special in your hand. Now, let's dive deeper into the grading system. The Sheldon scale ranges from poor 1 to perfect. Mint state 70 coins graded MS65, MS66, MS67 fetch a premium because they show sharp strikes, lustrous surfaces, and no contact marks. Imagine a roll of 2001 nickels uncirculated, untouched by human hands, sitting in a bank vault for decades. These are the coins collectors dream about? Then there are proofs. The special coins struck at the San Francisco Mint, polished, dies, double strikes, perfect details, although there were no proofs struck for circulation in 2001. Any coin that shows proof-like qualities is a gem to behold. But the true thrill comes from the hunt collectors, scour coin rolls, bags, estate sales, hoping to find that one misstrike that slipped through the cracks, a 2001 Jefferson Nickel with an off. Center strike could sell for hundreds, depending on the severity. A double die reverse, where the columns of Monticello appear doubled, could turn a 5-cent coin into a story worth telling. For generations, some collectors specialize in full steps. The term full steps refers to the crispness of the steps on Monticello. If all 5 or 6 steps are visible with no marks, it indicates a strong strike and can elevate the coin's value dramatically. PCGS and NGC, 2 of the top grading. Services often certify these coins and add pedigree to the find, while many people spend these coins daily unaware. The savvy collector knows that history hides in plain sight. This is what makes the Jefferson Nickel special. It is the democratization of coin collecting. Anyone with patience, knowledge, and a good eye can uncover a hidden gem in their pocket. Change the story of the 2001 Jefferson Nickel does not end with the coin itself. It is about the people who collect them, the young numismatist who finds a rare error, the seasoned dealer who trades a roll for thousands, the family who inherits a hoard of uncirculated coins. Each nickel holds a story, and every scratch, ding, and mark is a chapter in that story. The metal composition is 75% copper, 25% nickel. No silver, no gold yet. The value lies not in the metal, but in the history. Each coin passed through hands, bought candy, paid tolls, dropped in vending machines, maybe even crossed the ocean in a serviceman's pocket, each one a witness to daily life in America. 20-plus years have passed since the 2001 Jefferson Nickel was minted, yet the search continues, with new collectors entering the hobby every year and technology making it easier to buy, sell, and grade coins. Communities on forums like Coin Talk or the Collector's Universe share finds, tips, and images. Every rare error found becomes a legend shared from one collector to another. So as you listen to this story, remember the Jefferson Nickel is more than just currency. It is a living artifact, a testament to Jefferson's legacy and the American spirit. So the next time you get a handful of change, take a moment, flip that nickel over, look for the steps, study Jefferson's eye, the mint mark, the date. You may just hold a treasure in your palm. And when you do remember, you are not just collecting coins, you are preserving history and becoming part of a community bound by curiosity, passion, and the thrill of discovery. So stay tuned as we explore each aspect of the 2001 Jefferson Nickel in even more depth. From mint records to error types to auction results and famous finds, we will break it all down, so you too can become a master of the hunt and perhaps find your own rare nickel that could change your life forever. Keep watching, keep learning, and keep searching, because every nickel tells a story, and your story might be the next great chapter in American numismatic history. Just about coins. This is about a piece of America that millions ignored, but collectors now chase from coast to coast. Some are worth far more than face value because of rare mint errors, historical shifts, and forgotten designs. The Jefferson Nickel of 1967 holds mystery, value, and meaning. Like never before, watch till the end and unlock the secrets behind one of the most underrated coins in U.S. history. In the year 1967, the United States was a country in transition. The Vietnam War was at its peak. Civil rights movements were changing the face of the nation, and at the same time, something small but powerful was being made at the Philadelphia Mint. The Jefferson Nickel struck in that year may not have had a mint mark, but its story is far from ordinary. This video will take you deep into the history of this coin, from its origins under Thomas Jefferson to the exact circumstances in which the 1967 version was produced. We start with the historical foundation. Thomas Jefferson was the 3rd President of the United States, a founding father, and the author of the Declaration of Independence. He was also a firm believer in a strong currency system, and in 1938, the U.S. Mint decided to honor him by replacing the Buffalo nickel with a coin bearing his image. The design was created by artist Felix Schlag, who won a competition held by the Mint. His design featured a left-facing Jefferson on the obverse and his home Monticello on the reverse. From 1938 through 1964, Jefferson Nickels maintained a similar design, but by 1965, changes began to take place due to a national coin shortage and a critical rise in the price of silver. The U.S. Mint removed silver from most circulating coins and increased production to meet demand to prevent hoarding. They also removed mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967, which is why the 1967 Jefferson nickel lacks a D or S mint mark and was only struck in Philadelphia. But that is not the only thing that makes the 1967 Jefferson nickel important. In 1967, the Mint experimented with special mint sets instead of traditional proof sets. These coins were struck with higher quality than normal circulation coins, but were not quite proofs either. The 1967 Jefferson nickel from these sets has a semi-proof-like appearance and can be distinguished by sharp details and slightly mirrored fields. Collectors today often hunt for high-grade 1967 Jefferson nickels, especially those with full steps on Monticello, which indicates a strong strike with full detail on the building's steps. Nickels with 5 or 6 full steps are much harder to find because the Mint was focusing on quantity over quality during the coin shortage era. This makes full steps varieties extremely desirable in the collector market. Some MS-67 full steps nickels have sold for hundreds of dollars at auction. There are also die varieties and errors known for the 1967 Jefferson nickel, including double die obverses, die cracks, and off-center strikes. Each of these errors adds unique value to the coin, making it more than just a common piece of pocket change. It becomes a treasure, a mistake, preserved in metal, a snapshot of the Mint's condition and machinery at the time. The 1967 Jefferson nickel represents more than money. It is a reflection of American resilience during a time of great national change. It is a small coin with a big story. And as we go deeper in this video, we will examine the Coinage Act of the 1960s, the Mint's response to the economic pressures, and why the design of the Jefferson nickel remained unchanged for decades while other coins evolved. We will also look at modern grading standards by PCGS and NGC and how they apply to 1967 nickels. We will dive into the market demand, explore what makes one coin worth 5 cents and another worth 500. We will study recent auction results and find out which conditions and varieties are most profitable for collectors and investors. Stay tuned as we uncover the full truth of the 1967 Jefferson nickel, from design to minting, from circulation to collection, from past to present. This journey will show you everything you need to know about one of the most overlooked yet historically rich coins in American numismatics. As we explore further into the world of the 1967 Jefferson nickel, we uncover its deeper connection to American history. While other coins like the Lincoln cent and Roosevelt dime also faced changes, the nickel remained largely untouched in terms of design. The Jefferson nickel continued to carry its classic look as a symbol of continuity during a time of uncertainty. It is also important to understand the economic backdrop of 1967. Inflation was rising. The war in Vietnam was draining federal resources, and confidence in government was being tested. Coins became more than currency. They became symbols of national stability, and the U.S. Mint had the task of keeping that trust alive by ensuring the flow of coins across the nation, streamlined but less transparent process. Now, turning to the grading side of the story, we see how modern technology has reshaped how these nickels are valued. Grading companies like PCGS, NGC, and ANAX provide professional evaluations of coins based on strike luster, surface preservation, and detail, with numeric grades ranging from 1 to 70. A grade of 65 or higher is considered gem uncirculated, and anything above 66 becomes rare. For coins of this era, especially with full steps, Coins with the highest grades and full steps receive special attention from dealers and investors. These coins not only carry historical importance, but also represent some of the finest craftsmanship that slipped through during an otherwise rushed production year. Investing in high-grade Jefferson nickels from 1967 can be a smart move for collectors who understand the scarcity of top-condition coins from this period. The market for Jefferson nickels has evolved over the decades. What was once considered common pocket change is now a target for error collectors, series specialists, and long-term investors, thanks to online auction platforms, coin shows, and dealer networks. The visibility and accessibility of rare Jefferson nickels has increased, and more people are discovering the hidden gems in their change jars and old rolls. As we approach the conclusion of this video, we reflect on why the 1967 Jefferson nickel stands out in numismatic history. It represents a moment of change both in the mint and in the nation. It carries the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, the evolution of the U.S. mint, the impact of the coin shortage, and the creativity of collectors who seek to preserve history through metal. From its historical design to its unique SMS issues, from its lack of mint marks to its rare full steps varieties, the 1967 Jefferson nickel tells a story that is deeper than metal. It is a coin that bridges the past and the present, a symbol of resilience and a treasure hiding in plain sight. So next time you see a nickel from 1967, take a closer look because you might be holding not just 5 cents, but a rare piece of American heritage with a value that goes far beyond its face. In the world of rare American coins, collectors hunt relentlessly for these elusive pieces, some with doubled dies, some with rare mint marks, some with tales that stretch back through American history to the heart of the Eisenhower era. Stick around, because today we dive deep into the untold saga of the 1955 Jefferson nickel, from its design to its rarest varieties to the legendary finds that have shocked collectors and changed lives forever. In the vast and intricate tapestry of American coinage, few coins hold such a quiet mystique as the Jefferson nickel, minted in 1955. For many people, a nickel is just a nickel. Yet numismatists know that this year hides a story woven with historical events, minting challenges, political shifts, and collector surprises. The 1955 Jefferson nickel sits at a crossroads in mid-century America when the United States was stepping confidently into its role as a post-war superpower. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president. The interstate highway system was about to change the landscape of the nation, and rock and roll was shaking up culture. But while teenagers twisted and turned to the sound of Elvis Presley at the United States Mint in Philadelphia, and Denver machines were clanking away, producing millions of these nickels designed by Felix Schlag back in 1938. The Jefferson nickel had replaced the beloved Buffalo nickel, a bold move at the time, since the Buffalo nickel itself was cherished for its rugged frontier symbolism. Schlag's design, with the dignified profile of Thomas Jefferson and Monticello on the reverse, offered a more neoclassical look, tying into the renewed respect for America's founding fathers during the mid-century period. The 1955 issue, however, came with quirks and peculiarities that would intrigue generations of coin hunters. The Philadelphia Mint produced just over 7 million nickels that year, one of the lowest mintages for Jefferson nickels. This fact alone makes any 1955 Philadelphia nickel worth examining. But the real treasure comes with the doubled die variety. These coins show a doubling of the letters and numbers, most notably on the motto, "In God We Trust," and the word "Liberty." This doubling happened during the hubbing process, when dies were impressed incorrectly, resulting in a fascinating optical doubling that collectors crave. The 1955 doubled die. Jefferson nickel is nowhere near as famous as the 1955 doubled die Lincoln cent, but in the tight-knit community of nickel collectors, it is a prized find. The Denver Mint that year produced a higher number of nickels. Yet even among these, you can find sharp strikes, weak strikes, and sometimes off-center errors. The Denver issues are marked with the small D mint mark on the reverse beside Monticello. But even so, no major varieties emerged from Denver that year, so the spotlight remains on Philadelphia, And its double die story collectors have been fascinated by how these errors slipped through quality control during the 1950s, when mint technology was advancing, yet still relied on careful human oversight. Sometimes overworked mint workers missed these double dies, and so a small batch entered circulation. Imagine being one of those people in the mid-50s getting a nickel for your soda pop or your newspaper, never realizing that decades later that same coin might be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The hunt for these coins has taken on a near-legendary status. Estate sales, flea markets, old piggy banks all become potential treasure troves. When it comes to the 1955 Jefferson Nickel collectors, often debate the grading of these coins. Because the strike quality can vary, many are softly struck at the steps of Monticello, which is a critical area for grading. Jefferson Nickel's coins with sharp full steps are rarer and command higher premiums. This is especially true for the 1955 issue because the low mintage combined with poor strikes means that finding a full steps example is a collector's dream. As the decades rolled on, the Jefferson Nickel quietly continued its run until 2004, when the Westward Journey series brought new designs and later the return to Monticello in 2006, yet the classic pre-2004 design holds a timeless appeal. The 1955 nickel captures a snapshot of America during the Cold War, when Americans worried about the arms race Sputnik was about to launch, and families gathered around black and white televisions. Coins from this era hold an intangible sense of nostalgia for the simpler yet turbulent times beyond its historical context. The 1955 nickel also teaches valuable lessons about numismatics. It shows how tiny imperfections create huge intrigue, how human error becomes a collector's delight, and how something as common as a nickel can become an object of fascination when studied carefully. Coin clubs across America often highlight the 1955 nickel during meetings with old-timers, sharing tales of lucky finds. Kids dreaming of discovering that rare double die and seasoned graders. Debating tiny details under magnification, auction houses have seen fine specimens of the 1955 double-die nickel fetch impressive prices, especially those in mint state with full steps. Every auction brings new records as demand grows. Scarcity plus condition equals value, and so the hunt goes on. The modern collector uses online databases, coin shows, and grading services to find and verify these coins. Authentication is critical because with any valuable error, there come counterfeits, thankfully. Reputable grading companies like PCGS and NGC help protect buyers by encapsulating these coins with official certification. The legacy of the 1955 Jefferson Nickel also intersects with the broader story of Felix Schlag, the designer whose initials FS now appear on modern nickels, yet did not grace the coin until much later. Schlag was an immigrant from Germany, whose work reflects the American dream. He submitted his original design in a public competition, winning the chance to put Jefferson's likeness in the pockets of millions. His story reminds us that behind every coin, there is an artist, a team of engravers, and a mint staff all playing their part in creating history. Fast forward to today, collectors often wonder where the next discovery will come from. Could there still be an uncirculated roll sitting in an attic? Maybe an overlooked jar of nickels passed down through generations? Maybe one more double die, waiting to make headlines? Such dreams fuel the passion of numismatists young and old and keep the legend alive of the 1955 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that was just ordinary pocket change for millions in 1955, yet now stands as a testament to the thrill of the hunt, the power of patience, and the enduring mystery hidden within America's humble 5-cent piece. So next time you see an old nickel in your change jar, look closer. Check the date, examine the motto, inspect the steps on Monticello, because you might just be holding a piece of American history, a tiny sliver of metal that links the past to the present, and might just change your future forever. The pockets of ordinary citizens, this is not just a nickel. This is the 1986 Jefferson Nickel, and its story will take you from the depths of Monticello's heritage to the minting machines of Philadelphia and Denver. Through errors that turned pocket change into collector gold, and into the hands of experts who now guard these coins as treasures of American numismatic history, rare American coins. Today, we dive deep into a piece of American currency that has traveled silently through history. It is small, it is often overlooked, but the Jefferson nickel from the year 1986 holds a story more powerful than many know. This coin, minted during the Reagan era, carries the legacy of Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, a man whose influence helped shape the foundations of the nation, and his face engraved in nickel tells a silent tale of American values, patriotism, change, and legacy. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and for decades it has remained a symbol of continuity in American currency design. But in 1986, this coin entered a unique chapter influenced by historical events, economic conditions, and minting transitions. The coin was struck at two major facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint, and each carries its own set of identifiers, details, and secrets. The Philadelphia strike bears no mint mark, while the Denver strike bears a small D just to the right of Monticello on the reverse side. Now let us explore what makes the 1986 version different from the rest. The mid-1980s were a time of change in minting technology. Coin production techniques were being modernized, errors became more subtle and rarer, and the market began paying more attention to small details. Collectors started to note that certain 1986 nickels had striking issues, weak strikes die, clashes off-center errors, and sometimes doubling, especially around Jefferson's eye, his hair, and the word liberty on the obverse. As we step further into the timeline, we must look at the historical context of 1986. It was the year when America was focused on technology, space exploration, and strengthening its economy after the inflation-hit 70s. Coins, like the nickel, were mass-produced to meet the increasing demand of daily commerce. But ironically, the mass production also gave birth to unique errors that today turn a 5-cent coin into something that may be worth hundreds or even thousands, depending on grade and rarity. Grading is one of the most essential aspects when it comes to valuing the 1986 Jefferson nickel coins. In mint state condition, particularly MS65 and above, command higher value, and if you're lucky to have a full steps designation on Monticello, that means all 5 or 6 steps at the base of the building are clearly defined with no marks or breaks. Then you may have a coin that few possess in such clarity. The full step strike is one of the most desirable traits among Jefferson nickel collectors, and only a small percentage of 1986 nickels qualify for this status. Now imagine finding a coin that you thought was just pocket change and learning that it contains a rare mint error, maybe a double die or an off-center strike. These varieties are cataloged and certified by agencies like PCGS and NGC, and once verified, they become hot property in auctions, online marketplaces, and coin shows across America, from coin shops in small towns to major national expos. The 1986 Jefferson nickel continues to be a topic of conversation and fascination. Thomas Jefferson himself might never have imagined that his image on a humble 5-cent coin would become a lasting icon of American numismatics. The coin's reverse still shows his grand Monticello home, the neoclassical dome, the windows and columns all preserved. In tiny detail, as if to remind future generations of his architectural and ideological legacy, this connection between design, art history, and money makes the 1986 Jefferson nickel not just currency, but a cultural artifact. Collectors often ask what to look for when examining a 1986 nickel. Begin with the mint mark, inspect the strike quality under a magnifier. Look for clear details in Jefferson's hair and cheekbone check. Monticello for step definition and study. The rims and edges for any irregularities always weigh the coin. A standard nickel weighs 5 grams, but if the weight is off, it might be an off-metal strike or planchet error, and that's where the value skyrockets. This coin is not just metal, it is American memory. It is politics and policy. It is minting mastery and unexpected error. It is collecting and commerce all wrapped into one small piece of metal that continues to circulate unnoticed in drawers, jars, and wallets across the country, maybe even in yours right now. This was just the beginning of our 2-hour journey through the world of the 1986 Jefferson Nickel. Stay tuned, because next we will analyze real auction results. We will reveal rare certified examples. We will show expert opinions, and we will compare it to other important years in the Jefferson Nickel series. You will learn how to identify the rarest variants, what makes a coin desirable in the eyes of collectors, and why this small nickel still holds big importance in American coinage history. What about proof coins? The U.S. Mint also struck proof Jefferson nickels in 1986 at the San Francisco Mint. These are special collector coins not meant for circulation, and they feature mirror-like finishes and frosted details. Proof 1986 nickels have an S mint mark and were included in annual proof sets. Their values depend on condition, cameo contrast, and packaging. Unopened proof sets from 1986 can be found online or at coin shows, and often contain beautifully preserved examples that make excellent additions to any collection. We must not forget the educational and historical role of the Jefferson nickel. The coin does not just carry monetary value, it carries a representation of American ideals, liberty, independence, architecture, education, and progress are all embodied in the image of Jefferson and Monticello. This coin tells the story of the Enlightenment in America. It tells the story of a founding father whose ideas on democracy and governance still influence the nation. Today, holding a Jefferson nickel is like holding a miniature monument to American philosophy. Beyond its history and errors, the 1986 Jefferson nickel can also be seen as a time capsule reflecting America in the 1980s. This was the year of the Challenger disaster, the Statue of Liberty's centennial renovation, and the peak of the Cold War. This was a time when coins were used daily, far more than today, and the nickel was vital in vending machines, parking meters, and daily commerce. Understanding the role of the coin in everyday life helps us appreciate its place in economic history. When it comes to collecting 1986, Jefferson Nickels experts recommend building a set that includes both P and D mint marks and seeking out high-grade examples with full steps. Some collectors try to find strike variations and submit them for grading to see if any unique characteristics earn special designations. Values can grow over time, especially as older coins are lost, damaged or hoarded coins in brilliant uncirculated rolls sealed from the 1980s have become valuable sources of untouched nickels that might contain rare gems. So next time you find a Jefferson nickel in your change, check the date. Look for 1986. Examine Monticello. Check the steps study. Jefferson's profile, weigh the coin if possible, and consider the condition. You might just discover a rare piece hiding in plain sight, a small slice of American heritage sitting in the palm of your hand. This concludes part 1 of our full 2-hour journey into the 1986 Jefferson nickel. In part 2, we will go through the minting process of nickels with real footage from coin presses and die preparation. We will compare 1986 to other important years like 1950 D or 2004 to understand how design and rarity have evolved. We will also show real examples of high-grade and error 1986 nickels sold in auctions and explore what collectors are paying today and what the future might hold for these coins. So stay with us as we continue unlocking the value and story of this often overlooked but truly important American coin.